Hi, everybody. It is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020, and we are still in modes of writing, and we are looking at the learning target number 4 and 5 today. And I went ahead and outlined them for us here. So modes of writing, and it's still Gallagher that we're in, and I put that up in the corner, and I did my targets. I don't know if you can see it. It's really light pinkish for a highlighter. But I went ahead and did our target zones. So that way you understand what claim is and you understand what counterclaim is along with evidence and reasons. You already do this in your papers. Some of you do it very well. Some of you need extra practice, which is why I decided to go through Gallagher's learning targets, because I like his learning targets, and it's a hands-on if you do actually do them, and it's a good practice for you so you can identify the claim and identify your counterclaim, identify all the other elements of argument, which is down here that we went over yesterday's video that I have posted. So claim, reason, counterclaim, rebuttal to your counterclaim, which is an attorney thing that if you're in the courtroom, you have to do a rebuttal. And then evidence, and I have 3 evidence and facts, because evidence and facts are tied together like this. They're the same thing. Big idea, underlining assumption of your argument. What is that argument? What I've done, and I did that a couple other videos I've posted YouTube, the satirical musical from yesterday, and I have a couple other YouTube videos that I want you to actually watch that are attached to the learning target number 4. I like YouTube because, and I used to have a lot of TeacherTube PDFs and PowerPoints and videos up on TeacherTube, and after a while they just eliminate them, so if they're not there any longer. But along with when I had a Promethean board and an interactive whiteboard. So this is my interactive whiteboard that I go ahead and create every day, which is nice. Learning target number 4 is claim and reasons. The objective goal for today's lesson for modes of writing for learning target number 4 is students, you, will be able to develop claims in order to draft an argumentative essay. So if we were in the classroom, we would actually be writing an argumentative essay together, and I would pick out a newspaper article or something that would be in the news, and we would go ahead and write together. But since we're not together, you still can submit those to me so I can go ahead and revise. So a few of you have been sending me your papers to revise. Thank you very much. Before you submit them to New Learning, send them to me, and then I can go ahead and revise and then submit them afterwards, because then they're in a paper. Then we've done the revision and the editing step together, and you know exactly in my comments what to fix, which a lot of you have done, which is perfect. That's the editing and the process of writing that is so important. So you actually see exactly what you're missing and what you have to fix and how you fix it. Remember, it's all MLA format. This also happens when you're in science or the other sciences and you have to use APA format. APA is very similar to MLA. There's a few differences, but not, it's pretty similar. You're going to catch on real quick if you have MLA, which you do. Okay, so activity 1, I want you to review the claims from the Declaration of Independence. And hopefully you like the document that I uploaded and I put up there for Declaration of Independence. It's still in Google Classroom, so you can go ahead and access that. Okay, and so what is this historical significance? What is being communicated in that video that pertains to the Declaration of Independence, which is our right that we still have for our Constitution? How is it being communicated? And is it ever too late to apologize? Were the questions I wanted you to answer. Parts of the Declaration's argument is your claim, reason, counterclaim, your rebuttal and counterclaim, evidence, and then big idea, why you think the way you do. Okay, so you're going to review those claims that are in that paper, and when you submit them, those papers, then I go ahead and grade it and tell you the answer and which answers are correct and which answers are not correct. So that way then you have an example for all of the handouts looking at right down here, and I email it back to you. So that's the purpose of that activity. So you practice the claim, counterclaim, rebuttal, and all the other elements. Activity 2, YouTube watch, the power of argument, CRWP. CRWP is actually the College Readers Writers Program, and they've been around for a number of years. I've used College Reader Writers Program several times before. Gallagher uses them as well. So the title is Power of Argument. What I did is I uploaded, and there's a handout, and it's right on the front page of the Google Classroom, and there's links in there for this YouTube, The Power of Argument, the College Reader Writers Program. College Reader Writers Program is the acronym, okay? And it's really informative. There are so many videos for College Reader Writers Program, but the Power of Argument I really like. Hickston Writing Center also has YouTube video for you to watch that is the Power of Argument. And then I have a second one, which is structuring an argument. So it actually walks you through, like I'm walking you through the claim and counterclaim and all the elements of argument. And she does a really good job. She's a little bit on the English side, so she has an accent. However, you can understand it. It's very clear. And it's the structure of an argument. What does that look like? And I want you to watch those videos, because that's your activity too. It supports your claims, and it helps you to see what exactly is a claim. So when you submit this work, and then you watch that, now you understand what claim and counterclaim is. Now you have a really great idea of the reason why you have claim and counterclaim, which is your thesis, and the rebuttal you have to make, and the evidence has to be verifiable and reliable, along with the big idea, which is you're underlying an assumption of your main argument anyway. What are you assuming? What are you arguing in front of the judge, and whoever is going to be reading it, or whomever is going to be watching it, correct? So activity 3. You're going to construct 3 claims according to the rules that you've learned in activity 2 by watching the YouTube videos. Okay, so this is an active role that you participate in, that you have to take part in, so that you understand, what does a claim look like? Ideas, that's the claim, is the idea, that's your thesis statement. One will be the basis for your argumentative essay out of these 3. You choose your topic. Look at lesson 1 for the news sites that I put on the handout on Google Classroom, and those news sites are News ELA. It can be Google Scholar, it can be there's scholastic.com, and then Gallagher had a couple in there too that we actually put up for the news sites. Okay, so then activity 4 is choose one of those 3 claims. You're only going to choose one of them. Give 3 reasons on activity 5 to support your one claim. Remember, you're writing 3, and you say, well, why can't I just go and write my one claim? Because I want you to write 3 different ones, so you see the choice and how that claim can change, that sentence can change, and you're now used to writing 3 claims, not just one. If you write 1, that's like getting a D or F. If you write 3, that's going for 100%. And then you're going to choose a claim out of those 3. And when you choose the claim out of those 3, now you're still at 90 to 100%, because now you've made the thought process. You have logically thought logos with ethos, with pathos. You have done the process. If you just do one claim, you haven't done the process. You don't have logos. You don't have ethos. Not with one. You don't. That's just like that. That's like saying, oh, I want this grade, I'm just going to do this, and this is all I'm doing. Or some people say, well, I'm not going to do that, because that's your choice to do that. However, I wish and I would hope that you would make a better choice, that you would go ahead and do the 3 that's required, because that's a practice for you, so that you understand what claim is by the time you're done. Submit them in the comments, or submit them to me, and I can go ahead and say, yes, this is good, no, this is bad. I can work one-on-one with you. That's important at this point of argument. Okay, if you do not do this section, you don't understand claim, and you're writing persuasively. And that means your tape scores will not go up. That means you're going to argue, and you're going to fight against the process of writing. And the process of writing is doing action verbs, and you thinking logically, logos, pathos, ethos, to complete it the right way. So you have a good, solid argument when you go into the court of law. You, by no mistake, attorneys go in with briefcases and lots of papers because this is what they have done. They have done the footwork. They have done the research. They have gone in and found the facts and evidence to support their claims, and they have done both sides equally, not high up on one side and low on the other. They've done it high. And so then I go to the learning target number 5, which is evidence. Evidence is objective. Evidence, you know what evidence is, that's facts. That's over here, facts. That's the facts that support what you're going to say and tells you if your claim is solid or if it's not solid. It tells you exactly what to expect, and if you have a solid, good paper, or if you have a paper that's wishy-washy and your reader doesn't quite know where you're going with it, it's not organized yet. If you have evidence, reliable, verifiable, okay, not an opinion statement, but it's a reliable fact and verifiable, and actually it's a fact, hard fact, then you have a solid paper. And evidence, objective, students will be able to explore a variety of sources to identify evidence for your claim. The claim that you wrote up here, you wrote 3 and you picked 1, and then you chose 1, and then you gave 3 reasons to support your 1 claim. Now we're using the evidence. You're going to go back in and find facts and evidence to support that 1 claim. And I put it on a claim ticket, like a train ticket and stuff, because it is a claim. Activity 1, find 2 pieces of evidence to support your reasons in learning target number 4. So your reasons are up here, review your claims, and they show you in the YouTube videos exactly how to support your claim, power of argument, exactly the definition of argument, how that differs depending on the claim, and they walk through it. The first one I've listed on that handout, the power of argument, I love it, Hickston Writing Center. It's from 2015. Don't let that fool you, because once you have something like this, it's universal. It never goes out of date. It's always there for you to access, like MLA. They haven't changed it in over 20 years. It's still there. All the requirements are there for MLA. So Times New Roman 12 font is universal. The heading goes up in the left-hand side of the paper, and then everything else follows, and you indent 5 spaces for every paragraph. You don't have those extra spaces in between. Everything's condensed, everything's proper paragraph, and looks great. Okay, so that's our universal. That's like your beliefs and values. Now this, you're going to have your beliefs come through a little bit, but that should take care of it when we look at evidence here. And I went ahead and put it here, and then I have activity 1, evidence, learning target number 5, evidence, and it concludes and continues up over this way as well. And I'll move the computer just a little bit so you can see. Okay, so learning target 5 is evidence and objective. Students will be able to explore a variety of sources to identify evidence for their claim in order to prepare for writing an argumentative essay. So activity 1 is using the 3 reasons for learning target number 4. So learning target number 5 is complementing number 4. Number 4 is claim and reasons, why we have to use the claim the way that we do. Why do we construct the 3 claims? Why do we pick 1 claim out of the 3? Why do we have to use the evidence that's verifiable and reliable? And then when we do, the variety of sources, you get bombarded with all the sources when you go into Google Scholar or other places that you look for, and the sources to identify evidence for your claim in order to prepare for your writing. So remember, you're planning out your writing. We've been planning our writing from day 1. All the others are way up here, and I've got them on top. That's our book for Sebastian, and we're moving into argument very quickly, and we could pick like probably 5 different topics. I'm sure you have argument claims that you could actually argue every single day. You know, why should you adopt dogs and cats? Why should you have a no-kill shelter? Why should you not have vaccines, or why should you have vaccines? Why should you drink tons of water every single day and then put something in it that's healthy for you, that helps your body? You know, why should you go out and enjoy the sunshine? You need the sunshine, your body does, and actually to stay healthy. Why should you not sit around? I mean, we don't have anywhere to go where I'm working, but some of you might not. But why should we get up and move? We have to move every single day. Otherwise, if you don't, yeah, you get fat and big, but other things happen. So all those are arguments. Those are solid claims that you could actually argue like you're in a court of law. So using the three reasons from Learning Target 4, 1, 2, 3, students will need to find out at least two pieces of evidence to support each of your reasons. So each of your three reasons to support your claim, you're going to find evidence to support each of them, two pieces each. So if you have 3 times 2, come on, 2, 4, 6. Here's your math for the day. That's as far as we're going to go. Okay, this means you need to have at least 6 pieces of evidence, and I have it right here. So even if you didn't have to do the math, you could just read. List the source and paraphrase. So you're going to list the source like at your works cited page, and then you're going to paraphrase the evidence on the chart about Declaration of Independence. So you're going to use the chart that we did, Declaration of Independence, that we started our claim with in our argument at the very beginning, which is why it's so important, which is why I did the musical that I picked out. And you're still going to cite your sources MLA style, and you're going to have 6 pieces of evidence, 6 sources. So no longer do you have to have 3, but you have to have 3 and 3. So now you have to have 6 pieces of evidence that are reliable and verifiable. And you know you can't use Wikipedia. You know that's important as well. So then we go to, after you do this, and this is a lot. I mean, you've got this, this, and this. And if we were in the classroom, then I would have groups. And you would have groups that would be moving. And so each group would have a different section of this, and then I would switch you guys around. And then you would go to each table. So one would have activity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I would have 1, 2, and then 3. So I'd have 8 to 10 different activities. Well, we would do the 5 first, and get those done, and then put them in a folder. And then we would move to learning target number 5 and do the 2 activities. And I would flip the class. Like literally do like a flip classroom and flip it back again. Learning target number 6 is your counterclaims. You're done with claim. Watch the YouTube. This has definitions. This walks you through it, exactly what a claim is. And there's other videos there too, but those 2 I liked. And then you're going to see that's in the Google Classroom. And then you're going to do the evidence with the sources, MLA style, works cited. Remember, it has to have its own page. Okay, you know what that looks like. Activity 1 is then you're going to have at least 2 pieces of evidence for the 3 reasons that you have, which gives you 6 pieces of evidence. That means 6 sources on your works cited page you need in order for this argument to work. So no longer 3, you have 6 sources. You have 1 claim that you've chosen and written it very clearly and purposefully by watching the definitions. So I've gone forward and backwards, and we're using the Declaration of Independence in our first learning target, number 1, as our base, and this is built upon that base of Declaration of Independence that is so important because it is our rights as a United States citizen to actually have certain rights, and it's our rights, and you're going to argue that, not fist fighting, but with words, properly positioned, organized in paragraph for each sentence. That is so important, okay? Objective for counterclaim for number 6. Students will be able to locate counterclaims for their argument in order to prepare to draft their argument essay. Now that means prepare to draft your argument essay. That means your draft. You are here on the writing process that I use for 6 traits. You have pre-wrote, you have drafted, you have shared the draft over here with someone else, you have revised the draft because you're picking your claim and giving your reasons, then you're editing to pick the best sources, the 6 that you need for your works cited page, and then you'll locate your counterclaim because you've got your claim, and now you're working on the opposite, the counterclaim. The counterclaim is opposite of the claim that you wrote over here. It is mirror image, opposite of. So we're still in here editing, revising and editing our draft when we're looking at this for counterclaim. And then you're going to connect your evidence to your claim. So the sources you have here in your evidence has to be connected to your claim over here. Equals deepen your knowledge and use as a possible source. So how to make counterclaims, like making a cake, right? You made part of the frosting of the cake over here, and you stirred it up and you put it in a bowl, and now you're going to make the other counterclaims over here, and this is activity 1. What do? How do you do that? Well, you review the claim, number 1, for the first activity over here. Review the counterclaim, just here. Review the opposite. So you actually have to write a sentence. You have to write a counterclaim that's going to be opposite of your claim. Okay. Review the rebuttal. Wait, we didn't talk about rebuttal, but you're going to talk, the rebuttal is the argument because you either agree or disagree with the counterclaim. You either agree or disagree with the claim. Your rebuttal is, why are you disagreeing with your counterclaim? What's your position? Are you agreeing with it or not agreeing with it? Chewing gum in school, I agree with it. My counterclaim and my rebuttal is, because I agree with chewing gum, my counterclaim is, it's not good to chew gum because kids put it underneath the desk. Kids can spit it on the floor. Kids are gross about it and they don't make sure that their gum makes it into the wastebasket. Some kids will blow a bubble. That's against school rules. Some kids will go ahead and smack their gum. That's against school rules. That's my counterclaim. My claim, though, is I believe that chewing gum will help me think. If I have the right gum, I can stay focused and on task, and I can write better sentences, use better word choice, go ahead and revise for sentence fluency. My ideas are popping in my head, and I have a better chance to stay focused and on task through the process of the writing stages. That would be my claim, and then I also have my counterclaim, and my rebuttal is part of that counterclaim. That's so important. Activity 2. Activity 2 is the writing process again. Read. You're going to go through and share, which is reading. Revise, which is revising the purple. Someone else's draft. Revise. You're going to call somebody up and you're going to revise with them. If you have nobody, then you're going to have to look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Okay, because I've done that before too, and it does work. Okay, otherwise you can call someone and say, hey, listen to my paper. What do you think? Revise and then check the evidence that you basically collected to make sure it fits with your claim and your counterclaim. Make sure that your claim and your counterclaim match. You have to have one and then not have something else over here. Like if I'm doing the gum here for the claim, I start talking about chewing gum and then I get off tangent and I start talking about perfume, or I start talking about chocolate, or I start talking about something else. You're not staying focused. You need to stay focused on that. Okay, and then refute it. Refute it is your rebuttal. Rebuttal and refute, look it up in your dictionary for the definition, because refute and rebuttal are similar, and it all feeds back to Declaration of Independence in Learning Target number 3. Okay, and Learning Target number 3 is so important because that was before the claim, and that's the Declaration of Independence, our baseline for all of this. That's sending you through the writing process. So now you see it in action. And if we were in the classroom, you'll be broken up into groups so that you could actually see it, which is so important. By saying that, I want to make sure that I review again then too, and I want to review this for express and reflect. Remember, you're expressing and reflecting what you know. It's the handout is one topic, 18 topics, and so you're going to do a personal, expressive, something, your claim that you're going to pick. Bubblegum, if I do the bubblegum, I do the Cubs game here. Express and reflect. I can express and reflect the point that gum keeps me focused. It puts a good taste in my mouth. It doesn't make me hungry. I stay on task. I can get my writing done, or before I'm distracted, I look out the window. Inform and explain. Inform and explain is basically the details of, I'm informing you that bubblegum, if you didn't know it, or minty mints, help me focus and help my brain structure work, so that way I can go ahead and write my claims, my 3 reasons, and gather my evidence to support it, along with my counterclaims, which is for and against, so that way I have both of them. Evaluate and judge. Evaluate and judge your own writing, which focuses on the 6 trait of writing process. And then evaluate and judge is that you're evaluating what you're writing about in your claim and your counterclaim, so they both match, they're equal, and you have the same amount of sources. So that way they're supportive and citations, MLA style, and all filters back to the Declaration of Independence as your number 1 example and guide that you had at the very beginning, which is our baseline. Because remember, activity 1 is you're going to review all of this. You're going to review your claim, you're going to review your counterclaim, okay? And you're going to review your rebuttal for it. Inquire and explore. What did you inquire? Did you get the number of resources that you needed? And did you explore it, which is the process of writing? And did you do it with a reliable and verifiable source? Or did you just grab anything that was there? Oh, that looks good. I'm going to throw that in there. And then paraphrase. Did you paraphrase it correctly? That means putting it in your own words. It means you close read it, you read it very carefully, and then you sit back and you don't look at it again, and you write exactly what did you read. And if you have to go back and look, then you go back and look to find that information. But paraphrasing is putting it in your own words, and I can't emphasize that enough. You need to put it in your own words. Use dictionaries, use those to actually write your own sentences. That is so important. And then analyze and interpret. You're going to analyze and interpret the information that you're writing, the information you chose to collect, the claim that you're writing, the reasons for your support. Bubblegum, I prefer pink bubblegum over blue, over spearmint, or I prefer spearmint over pink bubblegum because the spearmint lasts longer. It allows me to stay on task longer. It allows me to get my 6 pieces of evidence that I need. I know what I'm looking for, put my proofreader glasses on, and my proofreader glasses is the action revision and the action editing that I need in order for my paper to pop, especially in argument, because I don't want it to sound like emotions. I want it to have the logos, the pathos, and the ethos. That's so important. Absolutely. So that way, when someone revises and edits my paper, because I don't know who it is and I don't know who's going to be reading it, then they understand where I came from and they see that objective and they go for it. And therefore, then I can take a stand. And my take a stand is the statistics, is the data behind my 6 pieces of evidence. I need that data. Data is driving this boat forward. Data is what they're going to assess you on. And if you don't have clear, reasonable data, which is your statistics and math, that means everything is aligned, everything is perfect. Then if you don't have that, then you have no reputation. Then everyone's going to look at you like, wow, they're just going to throw anything on there. They're not going to want to actually follow you. They're going to know that whatever you're writing about is just splatted on the wall pretty much, and you're going to watch it run down the wall instead of, no, I want to place this here like a nail. When you hang a picture, you're going to place it. I want it purposely there. You want it purposely on my paper. Each sentence I wrote on here is purposely done. My objectives are purposely done because students will be able to locate counterclaims. Students will be able to explore a variety of sources. Students will be able to explore a variety of sources to identify what? Evidence, claim, counterclaim, evidence, and facts. Perfect. The process of writing is taking place right before your eyes. You're actively planning your argumentative paper, placing words, placing claims, placing evidence. Therefore, you know you have an A paper. You know when someone is going to revise and edit it, they're going to see exactly what your intent was. Good luck. I can't wait to read all of this, and I hope I get lots to keep me busy because I love reading claims, reasons, evidence, and counterclaims, and I love the way you guys argue. Stay safe, stay home, and I'll see you tomorrow.